Hey, everybody watching at home. Thanks so much for watching. I'd like to make a special announcement. That special announcement is that Card Kingdom is sponsoring this episode, and we're doing a sweet giveaway, so keep watching to find out how to win. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another Commander interview. That's right. We just recently got done with the Fishbowl offices. We invited, Pleasant Kenobi over. That was fun. But now we've got our next guest this week. I guess by now it's this month. But either way, we flew a special guest into the Fishbowl offices, none other than MTG Muddstah. You may have seen him before through all of his wonderful YouTube content for Commander. But of course, you've also seen him on Commander Clash with us. So Andrew, Muddstah, how are you?
I'm pretty good, Krim. I think when you invite future guests, though, you might want to put them up in something a little bit nicer than one of Seth's extra bathrooms in the office.
It's because Seth has so many,
He does. And they're nice.
And he's never even in office. He's just in his yacht.
Yeah. There's a literal library of stuff behind me. Yeah. And this is a bathroom.
It does look a lot like your room, though.
It does, but it's not.
That is kind of weird. It does look like your room, but it's not. Either way, yeah, don't worry. Seth won't mind. He's in his yacht. He's got his content creator yacht that he his golden
with his
yacht,
YouTube
by
millions.
the way. Yeah, his YouTube money yacht. But yeah, I'm so happy to have you here. In the office and whatnot. I hope we filled everything out on your rider just okay. I think you got everything in your you asked for that shelf and everything to go in there. Yeah. So that's cool. That's cool. Well, today we're here to talk about your 5 cards. So specifically your top 5 cards, not necessarily the cards that are, essential to that you think are your top 5 cards must play in any EDH deck. It's more of just how you got started. What the sentimental side of it, how you got attached to those cards, why you're attached to those cards. So, I'd love to hear about it.
Sure. It's with any list though. It's so hard to narrow down, and there's always cards that you wish you could include because there's we play Magic, so there's thousands upon thousands of cards.
Yeah.
So
my brain is
list,
too smooth to remember all of them.
That's I cap out at about 7. So even most EDH decks, it's like a new thing every time I play. I'm like, oh yeah. But yeah, my favorite cards mostly are red. But the first one I want to talk about, and I think most people would agree, deserves an honorable mention in almost any deck, no matter whether it's Legacy or Vintage. Is the all-powerful, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, and I'm sure the editor of this video will agree with us. It's Hedron Archive.
Oh, yeah, that card's a powerhouse. Good, I think everybody just agrees that card is good. Right. So, yeah, it's just so good.
So good.
I could understand, why it didn't make it in the top 5, although because it is a staple in every deck.
Every deck.
So yeah, what about your 5th card?
My 5th card is pretty fitting considering my brand is Goblin based. Actually, a lot of the cards on this list, well, at least 40% of them feature a Goblin in some form. It was Goblin Engineer, and it's a powerful card from Modern Horizons. It does everything that the Duke of Dumpsters Duretti wants, which is finds artifacts. The Duke of Dumpsters, he was knighted, I think.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I must have missed that.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I missed that.
It was a private ceremony. It was
okay,
private. It was quite
super
quiet.
Exclusive. Okay, cool.
But he finds you sweet artifacts, and then you can switch them around. And I like the versatility. I like the art. I like the cost. I like everything about the card. So it's a lot of fun.
And not because it's just a goblin, right?
Not well. That certainly didn't hurt it.
Okay, all right. So with this, do you play it in your do you still play this in your EDH decks?
Yeah. It's one of my favorite cards in Duretti. Late or early game, mid game, doesn't matter when you draw it. It's just a very good card. Red. What I like about red so much is that it doesn't do anything outside of damage particularly well. So when you want to do something that's outside of the color pie, there's usually a lot of downside to it. And I think that's kind of exciting because it always leads to very non-linear necessarily ways of doing it. And so like the engineer is a perfect example of that, where you get to go and find an artifact. But unlike Fabricate, let's say, or Demonic Tutor, where it goes to your hand, this goes straight to your graveyard, which is a lot more vulnerable. And so there's like a risk factor to it. And then, even then, like his activated ability, compared to something like Arkham Dagsum or anything else, he can only bring back 3 cost or less. So the idea is, balance. Even though he's... Yeah, that's it. Like it's exactly that, balance. So like you never feel like he's potentially going to break something, but he can, and he can be degenerate. Let's face it. I mean, it's EGH, so there's any card can be broken.
Yeah. 3 or less artifact. I feel like you can run wild Cloudstone Curio. There's lots of things out there, right? So it's cool to see though, like specifically with the set Modern Horizon, right? I mean, Modern Horizons was a set that I think got a lot of, has some marks against it, or at least in most people's eyes, it's got this like this weird mark on it just because of Hogak and stuff like that. But like, I think Modern Horizons was actually a really cool set. Like the forces are actually pretty cool. Everything like outside of Hogak was pretty sweet. And I mean, a previous guest would say something about Astrolabe, but outside of like Astrolabe and like the Hogak stuff, which is mostly it's only relevant to people that are playing, like Modern and stuff like that, right? But like in EDH, like this felt like a home run for EDH players, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean that's it. I would say there were some good reprints. The snow-covered lands coming back as full arts was fantastic because it gave people more options to get them and also kind of have a more blinged out version of it.
Yeah,
we got Urza, which I think it can be a fair card. I don't think I've ever seen it. Like,
have you ever seen that a fair card? I don't think there's ever been a pod where we don't just kill the Urza player. Doesn't matter what they're doing. They could have 69 lands or 99 lands.
99 lands and Urza.
One Urza, and you should probably still kill them. That construct sets it over the top.
But I mean, we got cool, flavorful cards. We got lore, so like Yawgmoth came into it. Urza got the first card, I think, or Modern Horizons as well, or I guess Urza's head was from the Unset. So I guess technically that's like one of the earliest Urza cards, but it's like it was a lot of fun. Like I think it was a bit overshadowed by the amount of waves it made in a 60 card format.
Right.
But overall I'd say I think they did a really good job with it.
Yeah. Okay. So that's Goblin Engineer coming at that's your 5th card, right?
Yeah, I would say Goblin Engineer is tied with Hedron Archive in my heart.
Right. I mean, but like the thing is, you want to do something spicy, right? Like Hedron Archive is just a staple in every deck. So.
It's just incredible. It's evergreen. It's everywhere. You know it's in every deck, and people who don't play it are
just monsters, right? It's just monsters. Who knows?
It's true. No. I mean, like you can't tell people how to play it, but I mean, people who have a problem with it.
Oh yeah, people that like hate the card.
Yeah, those people have problems.
Editor. Sorry. But regardless of that, so now moving on. Which, by the way, speaking of editor and the whole we had a good time on Commander Clash, and I think one of the coolest thing about Commander Clash was surprisingly, yes, I got to see a bunch of cool decks, like watching you build your decks. That was really cool. And like all the sweet new cards you would use and the ways you'd find like just to like claw your way out of situations was pretty fun. But a thing that I picked up from you was actually when we did the Battle of the Bands episode. I did the My Chemical Romance deck, but you did Ghost.
I did.
And, believe it or not, people would assume that I had listened to Ghost before this, and I had only heard of Ghost. But, I never actually listened to them, and then after you played the deck, I actually went out and listened to their, their stuff and their discography and whatnot. And, like, for those that are at home, you may know them for their songs like Square Hammer and stuff like that. So, I think for the sake of that, we should just just honor like that. Like I'd like to listen to that song with you one more time. Let's play the song. Let's just jam really quick because it's so good to see you and have you in the offices. Let's have a little jam sesh. All right, you ready? Yeah. So editor, we're gonna go ahead and just cue up Square Hammer right here, okay, for us. So yeah, definitely do that, and we're gonna go ahead and get ready. All right. So all right, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2. Okay, yeah, there it goes.
So good.
Yes.
Why is this so good,
dude? My gosh, this part.
Oh my gosh.
That right there. That is why I like. All right. So that was Square Hammer. Like holy cow, that was good, right? Like it's just as good as I remember it. Actually,
I would say it's even better because we're sharing it with friends.
Yeah,
and that's the best way to share music.
Honestly, that was, and that's exactly what you did. You shared that with me, so I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you. That was another reason why I was so happy to have you here. I just had to thank you because that band is amazing. So
it is.
Let's go. Sorry to interrupt you. Let's go on over to Goblin Bombardment. Right? Is that your? I believe that is the list, the card that is submitted here as your next card. Mm-hmm. Can you explain to me why?
Well, it's from Tempest originally, I think, and it's got goblins on it again. So like, it doesn't take much to make me happy. But the idea of like a catapult shooting little green snotmen at like other things is is a great way to make me smile. And when I first started playing EDH, I thought it was actually one of the worst cards in my deck. Because I was like, why would I ever want to sacrifice creatures? Like, why would I want that? And then I started to realize that at points in the game, combat is not great. And it can be tough to get through. So having other avenues of winning are very, very ideal. And it fits into like almost any deck that I play nowadays. I've got it in Prosh, I have it in Krenko, I have it in Daretti, I have it in Elsha. I have it in like every red deck that I play.
So this is like a staple.
It's just
for
versatile. Yeah.
I mean, and it makes sense.
Yeah, like it's on brand, on theme. It's cheap. It's colorful. I love it.
I am curious. You mentioned like flinging little like goblins. You must have loved the art for Sling Gang Commander or whatever, right? From Modern Horizons.
Siege Gang Commander.
No.
The mono black one. Yeah.
Because it's literally got a little goblin like hopping into a catapult, right, getting ready to get flung.
I like how diverse of arts we get with the goblin tokens and the goblin creatures in general. Like you have Ixalan, where they kind of have that like rainforest kind of style, where they're a little bit more. I don't want to say like monkeyish, but they kind of come across like that. And then you jump to
that's like Fanatical Firebrand, which by the way, I to this day will argue that is not a goblin. Like I like first
Fair.
Look, I thought that was like Ragavan. Do you remember Ragavan?
Yeah.
Like Kari Zev's, a friend. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Like, Ragavan got a card again? But nope, that's a goblin, and yeah, I always forget that part.
Yeah, and then I mean, like you get stuff like the Dragons of Tarkir, where it kind of comes across like I want to see almost like a Himalayan Yeti kind of style, but very miniature.
Yeah, and they have like the white goat, like facial hair, right?
The mutton chops and the goatee and the kind of stuff. Like it's just you get all kinds of stuff, and you get goofy ones, you get serious ones. Like I don't think there's as diversely represented or illustrated, I should say, race in Magic as there are like goblins.
Okay. And so like I have to like I think that's true, right? I mean, I'm thinking back to it, and when you think about tribes, goblins have all of it. Serious, scary, like it's all there. That's actually pretty sweet. Like I to me, the most iconic goblin art still has to be Goblin Piledriver. Maybe that's just because of when I started playing Magic, but like I think Goblin Piledriver, that artwork just always stuck with me.
That's the one in the headlock, right?
Right. It's in the headlock. It's this tiny little goblin, but it's like latched on and ready to like pile driver somebody, I guess.
Yeah.
So like that's in at number 4 for you. Another goblin card. But what is your next card coming in at number 3?
Number 3 is like Faithless Looting, which again, that's like this harkens back to when I first started playing Magic, because like I think with everyone, and I think it's probably true to a lot of people, I started playing Magic when I was in elementary school.
Okay.
It was like 3rd edition, just going into I guess what was going to become 4th.
Okay.
And like we were kids. Like we had no idea what any of the cards did. We had no idea how to do it. We just liked the art and kind of made up our own rules as we went. And then we stopped playing Magic for a long, long time. And what got me back into it was at a poker night with some friends. One of our buddies had in the corner with his poker cards and his chips and stuff like that, his box of Magic cards. Because I guess his mom had, when she was giving all the stuff from this house, kind of just lumped like playing cards all together. And we got back into that. And that was just after New Phyrexia. New Phyrexia had just come out, and we were transitioning, I think, into Innistrad was the next block. And so Faithless Looting to me was like red card draw, the first time that I'd ever really seen anything like it. And so it's become such a powerful card in general. I think you see things like with Modern where it gets banned because it's just too strong.
Yeah.
And
the discard
idea
2 ended up being an upside.
That's it. Like there's no downside, and then Flashback tacked onto that like is just really what you want from red card draw. And I like to run it in most decks. It's good again late game. It's good again early. It's if you cast it early on, you can always have the option of casting it later. I like that kind of like option, that open doorness to the card. But I mean, I guess that's like anything with Flashback.
Right.
But it's fun, and like you get all kinds of sweet arts. Like there's the Dak Faden one, which is, I mean, kind of on theme for his character, which is a lot of fun.
Do you like? I always wanted that promo. Never got it. But I because like that whole line of comic book promos was pretty sweet, because there was the Faithless Looting, there was Duress, all of
High
those
Tide.
Yeah, all those are really cool.
Yeah. I remember seeing them, but I mean, I have a pretty diverse comic book collection, but I just could never get into the idea of picking them up. Yeah. And I kind of regret it now, because like I would like to read them. So I'm going to try and find them. I don't think they assemble them in like a graphic novel format, which is unfortunate. But I can understand, since they don't really like, it's not exactly like Magic is producing tons of comic books every year. So
right. I think the most recent one was like a Chandra storyline, I think.
I think so. And I don't know if it was continued all the way through though. I remember there was a lot of promotion around it. Right. But I don't know what's happened to it. So.
Yeah. I would, I wish I read those comics too. I actually didn't read much of, like, I don't know much about the lore of Magic, to be honest with you. I mean, I know a little bits and pieces here and there, but like, I would have loved to have read the comic books. I mean, I read a few of the books earlier on, like, because they used to come.
I made that mistake as well, but I don't mean earlier on. I mean, like, the most recent ones, which had some problems.
So I can think of a few. Yeah, I can think of a few recent things that have been problematic about it. But
big issues.
Yeah. What could those issues be? Who knows? So that's Faithless Looting, and that's in at number 3 for you. So
yeah,
what is your second favorite card?
Enchanted Evening.
Excuse me?
Is my second favorite. Enchanted Evening.
Like the non-red card?
And it's not red. No, it's actually 2 colors that are not red. It's white and blue.
Okay, all right.
I know. I'm breaking from theme here, but I mean, you asked me from my top 5, Krim. I don't know why you're getting so up in my case. Jeez.
All right, sorry. I guess I'm not here to heckle.
I'm not making you play more than 5 lands in your EDH deck. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
You don't need more than 5, right? You never need more than 5.
Everything costs 1 or 0. 5 is fine.
If your commander never dies, you never have to pay the tax. If nobody does anything, you don't have to.
And if you never cast your commander, you never have to pay the tax either, because it's never going to go back to the command zone.
Correct. Now you get it. If you can't cast spells, you can't get it countered. You can't lose
Big
the
brain
cards.
plays.
Perfect.
Exactly.
But yes, Enchanted Evening. Now I got to hear the story behind this, because it's got to mean something to you. If it's like a card that is not red so far, it's the only one that isn't red so far.
It's the card that's probably the most Krimiest in nature, in the sense that I played it in a way to really abuse it. And
weird.
So like I played it in my Zedru Enchantress deck, which
that's rude.
which the editor will agree is a fun deck. But the main purpose of it was basically like you would any kind of thing that turns permanents into other types of permanents. It was a way to board wipe your opponent's stuff while leaving yourself like completely protected or safe.
Right.
And there was a card, I can't remember the name of it exactly. I've unfortunately since stopped running it because people got wise about it. And as it is with EDH, when you blow up everyone's permanents more than once, they don't like that.
Yeah, I'm finding that
So,
out. Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't
Like,
get it. Like,
I play Enchanted Evening myself, actually, in my Alayla deck. And I think what's great about it is it's a way of, like, kind of like it's like an insurance policy, right? It's like, hey,
yeah,
if you board wipe or you blow up my enchantments, you also blow up your lands.
you're all coming with me, basically.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling everyone. You're saying if I go down, I am dragging you tooth and nail with me.
Correct.
So you better buckle up. Like,
You
no
will
pains of progress.
pry this Ristic study out of my hands.
I think you mean counterbalance, or
Yeah, counterbalance, Ristic study. Notice those are enchantments. And I think one of the more fun things to do with it was also having Heliod's Intervention, because then you can kind of pick and pool which lands you want to take out. So the card is sweet, and recently, at least recent of the time of filming, we had a secret layer drop with Seb McKinnon's artwork on Enchanted Evening, and if you haven't seen that, please go check it out.
Gorgeous.
Everything Seth McKinnon does is just chef's kiss, right? Oh, perfect. Perfect.
It's wonderful. It encompasses it so well, and I think it's gonna look lovely. I think it's gonna be a really nice card, and I think a lot of people are gonna be very, very keen to add it to their decks.
Yeah, and I mean, for this is a card that I would definitely run in any kind of Enchantress deck. So kind of cool. Like, excited to see that you had this card on here. This is a card I really like. So, that's your second card, right? So that's in at number 2.
Yeah, it's number 2.
So we've got exactly one more card left. But before we get to that last card, I'm going to send you to a quick commercial break so that you can see how you can win. Luckily, Card Kingdom is sponsoring this video, so you can see how to win this sweet gift card to Card Kingdom. So yeah, that'll be in the trailers.
Can I win it? Is that? Can I win it from here?
You cannot win this. I actually asked them about this because I was like, can I rig it so that I can win? Turns out that is not the case. I cannot win this. So to the commercial break, and we'll be right back. I told you about a giveaway earlier. Well, I'm going to fill you in on how you can win. All you got to do is make sure you go to cardkingdom.com, sign up for an account, make sure it's all set up, and then for the low price of a retweet or a share of this video on Twitter and hashtag Cremander, CRIMMANDEER. That's right, I spelled my own name for the most part correct. And you can go ahead and get one of these. Look at this. You can't get this anywhere else. Where are you going to find this? That's right. Card Kingdom is giving away 2 $25 gift cards. 2 of them. That's more than one. You can take that, turn that into anything you need at cardkingdom.com. Your basic lands, whatever you want. $25. This is your chance to win. Go do it. All right, and we're back. Now that you've learned how to win that sweet Card Kingdom gift card, make sure you do that once again. Make sure you go do that. But yeah, I'm not here to tell you what you need to do. Do it if you want. Anyways, we've got MTG Muddstah still in Seth's. Which bathroom was it? The 13th special bathroom?
The 13th, his 13th one. I think Seth has a system where he doesn't use the same bathroom twice in a week.
When you've got a golden yacht, why would you need to, right?
Right.
So,
and I actually would like to redact my earlier comment about complaining about being in it, because I think while we were on the commercial break, it's actually really practical to be in here because I don't have to go anywhere to use the washroom.
Yeah.
And I don't have to rush. There's no rushing. You're just done.
Magic players are all about their 3-for-1s, 2-for-1s, and this would fall under that, right? This is a 2-for-1.
Max value. Value.
Max value. You heard it there from Muddstah himself. So but now you've got to just tell us one last thing outside of obviously wonderful life tips. What is your number one card?
The number one card, I don't know if people would associate it with me, but it's probably the card that I'm the happiest to cast, and then even happier if it resolved, and I'm able to do stuff with it. And again, it feeds into that kind of earlier thing we touched on, which is the randomness of red and the high payoff, but there's always a catch. There's never, you just don't get it. You have to work for it. And that's Sunbird's Invocation. And I think it's an incredibly well done card.
That is.
Even though it's a very costly card.
Would that by chance be in this Zedru
yes.
Enchantress deck? Okay. All right. I think I see what's going on here. That card, Sunbird, they also call it the Funbird's Invocation.
Exactly.
It makes sense. That's a
Everyone's having fun.
Sweet card. It gives everything pretty much cascade, right? So it's super...
Yeah.
Like wild.
Well, it's like a super. Well, not even a super cascade. I guess it's one of those weird effects where you could basically associate it with a mechanic, but at the same time, it's different enough that it's not.
Yeah,
Because like cascade, you get that whole go until you hit the spell that costs less. This is you get the converted mana cost worth of cards, and then you have to choose one of those that I think cost the same or less.
I think it's less than...
Yeah, probably. It's very similar to Cascade, but yeah. So like you never know what you're going to hit. You're always hoping that it's going to be something good, and more often than not, it could be nothing. So I like that kind of style. It just tickles me in a way that I don't. There's not really like a lot of mechanics in Magic that do that kind of stuff, and it leads to very. I like the idea that it's not always going to be the same result every time you cast it, and every time you cast spells after that. It's always different.
Yeah,
and that to me is very appealing. Because like if you do play the same deck for multiple years at a time, and even though you might change stuff, this still helps maintain kind of that
a new play pattern, a new moment in like like your game with friends. I actually
new car smell.
Really appreciate that sentiment because I think that's one of the reasons why I love Chaos decks. I know that people have some opinions on Chaos decks, right? Like I find some people don't like playing against and some do. And I think Chaos is the most fun because you don't get the same game ever, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, and this kind of plays into that. And that's so true. And it keeps the game refreshing, like for you to play with that deck at least. And it gives it replayability.
Yeah. I mean, I think the problem with Chaos decks, and I'm sure a lot of people agree with me, is that it adds to the length of the game.
It does.
Most often.
But you spend more time hanging out.
That's true.
Why would you not want that, right?
That's true. I mean, like, it's that like if you're at the end of the night and you're like, okay, I want to go home, and then someone, I mean,
all right, last
I think
round.
it would be
You'd
be you at the table, and you're like Warp World, and everyone's like, who's friends with Krim initially? Why are we being subject?
Why would you
subjugated
assume
to him?
that was me? Okay, it is, but like,
I mean. There's a good chance, very good chance.
Yeah,
the Krim of the group will say.
The Krim of the group. Okay, all right,
Ooh,
all right.
That's good.
Like
the Krim of the crop kind of thing.
The Krim of the crop. Yeah. Okay, I get it. I can see why you would assume that I would love Chaos decks like that and do those things because I also love Warp World. I think Warp World is a hilarious Magic card. It is in EDH. Yeah. It is hilarious, and it doesn't even exile itself.
No, it just goes into your graveyard, doesn't it? Like it's just it's begging to be abused.
The fun never ends when you're playing Chaos with friends. That's the saying.
That's a slogan. That should be the flavor text on Chaos or on Warp World. And then everyone will be okay with it.
If there's ever a secret layer Krim, that's one of the cards and that's the flavor text there.
Let's make that happen.
Boom.
Let's make that happen. Editor,
that's free.
Get to that.
Wizards, no trademark, no nothing. If you want that, you got it.
Boom.
So yeah, like I mean, I agree though. Like Sunbird's Invocation though, to tie it all back, is a hoot of a time. So like that and it's weird because if you look at your list, right, all the cards are red, most of them, except for one. But the thing that I like about EDH specifically or Commander is that red can be more than just one drops, aggro, turn them sideways, and attack you. And I think that is a huge appeal of why I love red actually in EDH because I like red. It's a third of Grixis, as you can tell by my hair and how much I love Grixis. I think that in Commander, it's so cool that you have decks that are like big red, stuff like that, or red mid range, and that to me is fun. I think that is why I love specifically red in Commanders because everybody just assumes that you're playing red, so you're playing little creatures low to the ground, go aggro, play a Hell Rider somewhere on turn 4, and then kill people.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but red is so much more than that. And Sunbird's Invocation, a good amount of the cards you've shown today or talked about have definitely shown different, like the different faces of red in Commander.
Right.
So,
and that's it. Like it's a very diverse color, despite the fact that it's often associated with sort of a more complementary or secondary role. Like it's like. Boros has red in it to complement the white. Grixis, again, like the central colors are usually black and blue, with red as a splash to give like some other kind of effects. But you can do spell slinging, You can do artifacts. You can do combat. There's Norn the Wary, which is just the weirdest card in the world. And yet it's red. And then you have other stuff, like you said, like Zurgo. Zurgo, the bell ringer. He's low to the ground. All he wants to do is attack. And you can do that. And that's fun.
Yeah. Like, and so red just has so much to offer. So that all makes a lot of sense. But yeah, so I guess that's it, right? That's the end of your time here. So thank you so much for visiting the Fishbowl offices. Once again,
you're welcome.
We really do hope we filled out the rider for you. Sorry that we couldn't get you into one of Seth's better bathrooms. I think that's his 13th one is not his best one. So hopefully, we can get you back another time, and maybe we get you in a better bathroom or whatever, one of Seth's numerous offices. Is there any, assuming that we don't already know who you are or you've seen your content, where would people go and find you?
People can find me on, I guess, YouTube, as they call it.
The tube. All right, nice.
The tube on the YouTube,
the
as the older generations call it. Like I think my grandmother is still insisting that one day I'll find a real job. So
we're all in that train.
Yeah.
So don't you worry about that one.
I'm not.
Haven't heard the end of that one.
Hurt by that, but that's fine. But yeah, you can find me on YouTube at MTG Muddstah. I post weekly gameplay for EDH where I film it and then I edit it down.
Okay.
And make it bite-sized, consumable little bits so you can watch it while you're on your commute, which no longer exists.
So
during
even
this whole time.
My smooth brain can take that. So okay, cool.
It's very, very easy, very consumable,
friendly.
very enjoyable. Yeah, crim friendly. Crim friendly, mom approved kind of stuff. So
sweet. Okay.
It's there, yeah. It's Mondays and Thursdays, and then I sometimes stream. And I would stream on Twitch, but I forgot my login information. And here we are.
So hopefully by the time you're watching this video, you've already followed Muddstah on all of those. And I assume that it's going to be the same on social media and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's basically, if you look up MTG Muddstah, there's like a good chance it's me in some capacity.
Okay. So hopefully by the time you do that with when this video airs,
maybe
he's remembered his password, and and he'll be streaming by then too. So this will be perfect. So thank you so much for coming in. Thanks for being here, and mostly thank you to all of you that are home watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'm glad that you did if you did. And I'm just super honored to have you all come by and support the content every time. And, as always, the call to action, feel free to leave a like and a sub. Yes, thank you. What should they hit at home? There's some kind of icon. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The bell icon?
The bell icon.
The notification icon? Oh, yeah, that one.
Yes. What does it do?
I don't know, actually. It's a mystery to me, and it terrifies me.
Okay.
And I actually feel uncomfortable talking about it, so...
I'm sorry I asked.
This was not part of my contract, Krim. This was we had a very set script, and you've veered way off it.
Right here. Do not...
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'll have my agent talk compensation later. I'm so sorry. But yes, hit the bell icon to be notified when a brand new video goes live on my channel. And then also, of course, go do that to Muddstah's channel and find out, or help him find out what that bell icon does, and let him know that it notified you. So, thank you so much for watching. And as always, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Asian Avenger, signing out, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace.
Boop.
Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, help us out by clicking the like button down below. And to keep up with the latest and greatest, make sure to click the subscribe button. And if you want to watch similar videos, click on the links appearing on screen right now.